This is The Issue, and I am the Ghetto Man, reporting from the control room of Ghetto Recording. I just want to have a brief discussion on a current event. I want to take a constitutional look or a viewpoint from what's being reported in the lamestream media and the independent media, that a wave of illegal immigrants, thousands of them, are approaching the U.S. border. And they're approaching the U.S. border through Mexico. What I find interesting is that Mexico is allowing these illegals safe passage through their country as long as they don't stay in Mexico so that they can find their way into the United States. Constitutionally, what Mexico is doing here is that Mexico is aiding and abetting in an illegal, criminal, alien invasion into the United States. In fact, Mexico allowing the aliens to go through and giving them free passage, Mexico is responsible for anything that takes place or anything that these aliens do once they cross the border illegally. In fact, I would say that Mexico's participation in allowing the illegals to cross the border is really an act of war. Now, what's interesting and I find very disturbing is California under Governor Moonbeam Jerry Brown, a radical Marxist. The man's a radical Marxist. I don't know what else to say. He's a communist. Him and his cohorts. California has conspired with Mexico to allow an illegal invasion of the United States of America. The president, as the government's chief executive officer, the president is in charge of our nation's security and has a duty to protect our nation's borders from any and all foreign invasions. Upon entering into office, the president also takes an oath. And he says, I do solemnly swear or affirm, whatever it is that they have to do, that I will faithfully execute the office of the President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. And that can be found in Article 2, Section 1, Clause 8 of the United States Constitution. We take a look at Article 4, Section 4 of the United States Constitution, where it clearly says that the United States shall guarantee to each state of the Union a Republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion. So the President is the Chief Executive Officer. He's protecting us from invasion. At this stage of the game, Mexico is clearly involved in a hostile invasion of the United States by allowing these illegal aliens safe passage through Mexico into the United States. Jerry Brown and all his cohorts have committed treason against the United States of America. They, too, are in an open and notorious conspiracy with Mexico to allow these illegal aliens to pass through. Anything that Jerry Brown does, along with his cohorts, that jeopardizes any citizen within the United States, which, leaving the borders open and conspiring with Mexico to invade the United States through California, is a crime. It's a crime of treason. I don't feel safe here anymore. I feel I need to carry a gun just to protect myself from those people who would violate the United States laws. And that goes for not just the illegal aliens crossing the border. I'm talking about Mexico and California and that traitor, that radical Marxist communist piece of crap that they call the governor there, that Mr. Moonbeam. He needs to be arrested. Everybody involved needs to be arrested. We need our military down on that border and make sure that nobody crosses that border. Governor Jerry Brown needs to be arrested for treason, And everybody else that's going along with his so-called sanctuary cities, that's all they're doing is putting the rest of us in jeopardy by violating the United States immigration laws, which constitutionally, it is the President of the United States that is to protect our borders. All of this money that that's been allocated in the Omnibus Act, the president is the commander. Well, he's a commander-in-chief if there's a lawful war. We don't have a lawful war right now. But he still has the authority to take the money that is necessary to protect our borders from invasion to get that wall up. And if you can't get the wall up, let's get our troops down there. Put a stop to this right now. If the government is not going to do their job, the job that we hired them to do, pursuant to the United States Constitution, then pursuant to the 9th and the 10th Amendments of the Bill of Rights, it's an inalienable right. We have an inalienable right to go out there and stop the invasion ourselves. We have a right to arm ourselves, and we have a right to protect ourselves. We have a right to protect ourselves from the traitorous Jerry Brown, the radical Marxist. He's destroying California. The people in California are entitled to a Republican form of government. Jerry Brown is denying them that right. Jerry Brown this guy is such a criminal, and he's such a traitor, that if we don't arrest him, I think we should use the power of citizens' arrest if the government's not going to do it. Somebody has to step up here and make sure that our Constitution and our Bill of Rights, the restrictions that we placed on government, the rights that we have, whether there's a Constitution or not, are clearly protected. Right now, what we're seeing in this country is so open and notoriously illegal. These people, along with the mainstream media and the liars and CNN and Fox and all the rest of the fake stream media that's out there, I'm sick of it. This is treason. And the only reason why the people haven't stepped up is because they're uneducated. They have no idea how the Constitution works. Not one thing in the Constitution at this point in time, not one thing that the Constitution mandates or prohibits, not one thing is being practiced in this country anymore. There's no separation of powers. The money isn't being practiced like Article 1, Section 8 and 10 of the United States Constitution. We don't have a Republican form of government. We have an oligarchy. We have public servants like Joe Biden that are saying that we should repeal the Second Amendment. He doesn't even know what the Second Amendment does. He took an oath to uphold and defend it. And now he's violating that oath by even suggesting that it be repealed. And then the stupid idiot, he doesn't have enough education or brains to understand that even if you repealed the Second Amendment, you wouldn't touch a person's right to keep and bear arms, because the Second Amendment only put restrictions on tampering with those rights. The right to keep and bear arms, the right to free speech, every right that's enumerated in the Bill of Rights exists whether there's a Constitution or not. And I don't hear anybody, especially in the independent media, that is hammering on this. This is the most important thing when it comes to the protecting our inalienable rights from the encroachments of a coup d'etat, a communist coup d'etat. These people are overtaking the country right now. They're doing it right in front of us. Borders wide open. Conspiring with Mexico, foreign nations to allow people in. And doing so with absolutely no legal authority whatsoever. A complete violation of their oath of office, a complete violation of the United States Constitution, a complete violation of the trust of the American people that elected these people to serve us, to uphold and defend the Constitution, to uphold and defend the Bill of Rights, to serve us. talking about repealing the Second Amendment, all that does is expose the stupidity in this country, that anyone in this country would even dare to think that the Second Amendment granted them or created the rights that are enumerated within them. Read the preamble to the Bill of Rights. Our founding fathers were concerned that the federal government would forget that the rights that the people have, the rights to free speech, the right to freedom of religion, the rights to keep and bear arms, the right to organize as a armed citizenry, the militia, so that we can protect the security of a free state and a free nation. The powers that were delegated to the United States government are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people under the 9th and 10th Amendments. These people are in office, took an oath to uphold and defend these things. The moment they open their mouth to the contrary, they have committed an act of treason. This is not rocket scientists here. It's just simple law. We're a nation of laws, not men. You don't just choose what law you want to go ahead and obey or not obey. And you sure as hell don't take an oath to uphold and defend the Bill of Rights and then turn around and try to pass legislation that is in complete violation of your oath. That's treason. I'm frustrated. I've been at this for over 40 years. It's not that difficult. I constantly hear people talking about the Second Amendment as if it created and granted the rights that are enumerated within. I'm sorry, this isn't just ignorance. This is stupidity. This is why you have the Jerry Browns and the Schumers, the Pelosi's, Waters, all of these people. They're complete idiots. They're morons. They wouldn't know the law if it jumped up and bit them on the ass. Sorry I said that. On the butt. I don't know what else to, I don't know what else to say. You know, you can't take a stand if you don't understand the law. You don't understand it, and understand it to the point that you know exactly what it says no matter what. Our Constitution is under attack. Our Constitution is under attack from enemies, domestic enemies, traitors from within. And they are openly and notoriously violating the law. They're doing it right in your face. And what are you doing about it? You're arguing on whether or not anybody has a right to repeal or abridge the Second Amendment. When people are taking their oath of office and then turning around and suggesting that we go ahead and violate that oath, what the hell do you think a well-regulated militia and the right to people to keep and bear arms is all about? If the people we hired to protect us from invasion, to protect us from domestic enemies are not doing their job, then the sovereign citizen who has an inalienable right, a right to keep and bear arms, that supersedes the United States Constitution that exists, whether the Bill of Rights or the Constitution exists or not. They don't know they have these rights. How in the world are you going to ever pick up a gun and protect the United States of America if you don't even know how the Constitution works? I'm the Ghetto Man. Thank you for watching. If you're politically correct, then you're legally wrong. And if you're not part of the solution, then you are the problem. Please subscribe and please share. Long live whatever's left of the republic.